Hey everybody, and welcome to We Live in Color, right here on Converge Media. Now before we begin, I need you to do me a favor now. Like, share, and subscribe to Converge Media, where you can learn more about Converge Media, Back to Basa, Converge Music, and more. Go to whereweconverge.com to learn why Black media matters. You know what I love about being Black? We can do all things. And sometimes that can be intimidating to some. Some will even try to dim our light. But we were born to shine. We are everything that our ancestors prayed for. And my guest is everything our ancestors prayed for. Kiesha Free.
Okay, now. Got me all excited just off of that.
You know, we got to do
the
it.
ancestors prayed for.
Because, and I thought about it, right? Because it's Kiesha Free. People know you as Kiesha Garrison.
Yes.
Kiesha Free. Name change. Can we talk about why you chose that?
We can. And thank you so much for welcoming me here today. But yeah, I changed my name. Most people don't know that Garrison was a married name. I was in a relationship for 20 years. I met my ex-husband when I was 18. And we got divorced when I was 38. So that was a couple years ago. That was, I don't know now.
A couple years ago.
And I was fine. I was like, okay, I've been Kiesha Garrison for most of my adult life. I have my beautiful baby girl who has that name, and she was 8 when we got divorced, and she was looking at me like, Mommy, can we like have the same name? Can we be, feel like family? And I was like, you know what? No sweat. That's fine. But 3 years passed, 4 years passed, 5 years passed. I'm just like, this is starting to feel like an itchy sweater. I feel like I have evolved and I've grown, and I just was feeling like I want another name. I was like, I want to take the itchy sweater off and just like have my name. And I didn't want to go back to my maiden name, which is Williams. And I was like, that's a fine name, but that's also, somebody who probably owned my people back in the day.
Okay.
I don't want that. I had to go through an intentional process of picking another name, and the name Free wouldn't let me go. And I went through a whole process, and I landed there. I was like, let me not run from it.
And it's a safe space to land because it's liberating. It's who we are.
Yes.
And, and who you are you have so many different coats of many colors. And one of the things that I find interesting is like you had a background in tech. Can we talk about that?
Yes. My tech career, that was also a very intentional thing because I started my professional life after college in the publishing space. So I was at People Magazine and Sports Illustrated for Kids and InStyle in New York doing that whole life. It was unhealthy, I would just bluntly say. I learned a lot. People always say that about some painful experiences. I learned so much. And I met a lot of lifelong friends. But also publishing, every year, they were just laying people off left and right. I said, I need to go where there's opportunity. And tech seemed like that space. So I intentionally made a pivot, and I went into being a business development person for a software company.
In Blacks in tech, I mean, we see a surge in the conversation now.
Yeah.
But then, right, how was it navigating through pretty competitive space?
I started at a really small company, which had its setbacks too, because I think I was the only Black woman there. I was probably one of the younger people there at the time, and it was to the point where when I had gotten pregnant at this particular company, they almost didn't know what to do. They was like, "Women be having babies? What do we do now?" And I was like, "Okay, we're gonna need to I'm gonna have to take leave. When I come back, you're going to need to have a space for me to pump." Like they just really didn't seem prepared for that at all. So it was just an awkward time, just feeling like a fish out of water. But I was living in New York, so I was still like, I can just leave here and be okay.
And the thing is, and we talk about it a lot in community, and we've seen it all happen last year, of people not seeing Black women for all of who they are, right? So I'm quite sure that probably took a toll on you.
It did. It had a lot of just moments where I felt like, am I even being heard in here? Having to get really good at finding out who in whatever office was going to be my advocate. Every place that I've ever worked, even since then, and then going to Microsoft after they recruited me to move out here, I've always been able blessedly to find somebody in the space who would be like, okay, I'm gonna advocate for you when you're not in the room. Mm-hmm. And it might not be from a place of just like, oh, it's just pure goodness because you're a good person and I'm down and I'm a Black women. Sometimes it's from a shared interest space where it's like, you're excellent. And if I keep you able to operate in that excellence, my team is gonna look good. So just know I got you when you're not in the room. I've always been able to find that person.
See, and that's a blessing.
Yeah.
And then going into Microsoft, girl, how was that? And then, moving.
Yes.
And then coming to Seattle.
Moving was a lot. So this is now over 10 years. I'm a decade into Seattle. Coming out here with a 3-year-old. Mm-hmm. Coming out here, my husband at the time, his whole shoulder was broken. He needed a surgery when we got out here. I'm coming into a big old company trying to be like, I gotta show up. Look like, the investment was worth it to move this person across the country. It was super stressful. And they moved us into Bellevue, which I didn't know enough to understand what that really meant.
Yeah. That
I was gonna be dropped into an environment that didn't necessarily have like an embracing community around me.
Was it a culture shock?
It was. I was excited because I did have people that I knew out here already, like friends who had just moved a couple months before me. There were friends from school that already lived out here. So I kind of had some excitement about just like, I already knew some humans. But to go from New Jersey, where we were living, where my daughter had a Black pediatrician, I had it was just like, life looked different. And then I got here and I'm in the grocery store, you at the office, you everywhere. I'm just like, there's no saturation.
Yeah, and I think that one of the things that's so great about you is that you look to find what that saturation looked like. And when we come back, we are going to talk about what you've been doing to get saturated within this community. Amen. Soil down.
Hey.
We're going to take that quick break. You are watching We Live in Color.
Getting the scholarship really changed the conversation. It went from, no, I can do school in my free time and make it work, to I could only focus on school and I could be the best I can be every single day. I can soak up everything. I can read before class and make sure I'm not just learning enough to pass a test. I could really pour all my time into school. That's what having a Seattle College Foundation Scholarship did for me.
Africatown Plaza is our latest affordable housing development project. It's 126 units of affordable housing over community commercial space.
It's the first time in my career, and I've been doing this for 10 years, that I was able to design for people who look like me.
Africatown Plaza is a beacon of hope.
Africatown Plaza is a love letter to the community.
Black caregivers, entrepreneurs, and elders, this one's for you. Queen Care is offering complimentary self-care services to those who give so much to their communities. Take a moment to restore, recharge, and be cared for with free wellness treatments at the Spa House by Queen Care. Spots are limited, so don't wait. Go to queencareproducts.com now to sign up, or scan the QR code on your screen, because you deserve the same care you give to others.
And welcome back to We Live in Color. I am Deaunte Damper, and I'm here with Kiesha B.
Hey.
So during the break, we were talking, or even before the break, we were talking about learning how to be saturated in community, because community can be hard to find here, especially when it looks like us.
Yes.
So pivoting into, hey, Black Seattle, what made you go that route and kind of leave the tech world behind? Not behind, because it's still a thing, but
it's true. There was a big transition point for me around, I would say, the quarantine time. There was a lot that was leading me towards leaving, my corporate life before that. Because I would say, and I'll tell you the story, so when we talk about the tribute, my daughter had given me a word in 2017 that kind of re-centered my focus on reclaiming all the parts of my life that I had set down to go be successful in corporate America. Because to do that requires a lot of time and energy and essence. It takes a lot of the percentage of your life to go do that. So my daughter had given me a word, a command, and I was like, I want my stuff back. I want my art back. I want my time with my people back. I want it all. So I started just going and being in community with people, and I wanted my art back with Black people. And I just was clear about that. So I was finding Black art spaces. I was finding Black comedy spaces. I was finding those things for myself. And there was a point after, around 2021, that's when I felt like, I think I'm ready.
Yeah.
I think I'm ready to leave corporate. My daughter needed me in a different way at that time. This was, virtual school, all the madness of all that stuff. I was like, I'm gonna head on out of here. And now there's space for me to rebuild life in a whole nother way. By this point, I was also divorced. I had gotten divorced right before 2020 started. I thought I was about to be 40 and fabulous out here. I was 40 and fabulous on the couch.
Okay.
So I had gotten divorced. I was leaving my corporate job, rebuilding my whole life. And I was like, I'm gonna rebuild my life to be super Black.
Okay.
And I got one of those downloads, if you believe, in such things. I got one of those downloads that said, if you do that for yourself, you can do it for a whole bunch of other people too. You have all the skills you need to actually make it easier for other people who would also like to be saturated.
Yeah. Okay.
To get saturated.
And
in a
people
Black
are
life.
getting saturated. Hey Black Seattle. Well, for those who don't know, what is Hey Black Seattle?
Hey Black Seattle is a digital hub for Black life in the Puget Sound. It is it's a website and a database that has a collection of community organizations, businesses, artists, healthcare providers, tradespeople. If you are Black and focused on Black things, or Black providing a program or a service that the Black community should know about, it's something that you can find on heyblackseattle.com.
Yeah.
I always use the hiking example because people come out here and they're like, it's so green and lush and beautiful. I want to go hiking. And then they had to pause, like, but I want to do it with Black people.
Yeah.
You can go on heyblackseattle.com, type in hiking, and see the community organizations that offer that for us. And so that's the heart of it. And then around that is intentional media projects, art projects, events, things that are built around shifting some narratives that make it kind of lubricate our opportunity to come together.
Okay, and I'm good for lubrication.
So
So one of the things that I do love too is the tours that you give. Why are the tours so? Because I feel like they're pivotal to a lot that you do.
Yeah.
What made you do that? Because
So-
you could have just made the app and just made it where it's like, okay, if people are here.
Yeah. Well, part of this is community, to me, has to be very personal. You can't just say, I want to find community, and that just means I know a Black event to go to. I think you need to be up close, and you need to learn the richness of the story of the people around you. And when I moved out here 10 years ago, I didn't know a lot of things that I wish I did know sooner. And the history of like a neighborhood like the Central District, that I feel like that's required, that's Black 101 if you live out here. And for me, being a person who is not from here, but my daughter is from here,
Yeah.
okay, that's her hometown.
Yeah.
It's on me as a parent to understand what are the things that would give my kid a sense of pride and where she comes from. She needs to know these stories. But then I look around and I'm like, well, we all need to know.
Yeah.
So it is something that I made my business to take people around, to go get up close and personal, have an experience, touch the thing, meet the people. Don't just let them be on a computer screen. Actually look them in the eye and be like, this is your community.
And engage. You know, you said something a couple of months ago at Anthony Tibbs' wonderful event that you partnered with him on. You were saying, and you can finish it for me, you were saying Seattle people are deeply rooted here. And then what was the last part? Oh, I can't remember. But it was something about like, you know, and now we're planting the soil. We're also planting the soil.
That's why I like to say that, you know, there are people who are deeply rooted here. And then there's people who are freshly planted from somewhere else. It's, you know, it's just, we are all tending to this particular garden together right now. And we're bringing something different to it. People who have been here for a long time, they understand how Seattle moves.
Yeah.
They understand a lot about this place. And people who come from somewhere else, maybe they got a little new flavor that they can sprinkle into it. But we both have to respect what the other has to offer and what the other knows. You can't come in, well, say to someone who's freshly planted, don't come in and act like only the roots that you have from elsewhere matter. The roots that are already here matter, so get to know them.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I think that one of the things that I loved about, because I also came and spoke to some of the community folk.
Coming.
Well, it was great because, you know, there were also community folks in there that needed to also know that this is also a safe space to land. And I was more so for some of our queer folks or trans women they are basically just saying like, hey, this is safe, this feels safe. And you also are a person that talks about inclusivity and intersectionality and something in a lot of the work that you do. Why is that important?
Well, and I will say before Hey Black Seattle, I feel like I wasn't very loud about being a queer Black woman. I was just, out here advocating in the ways that I do, being, people like, oh, she's such a good ally. And I would kind of be like, oh, that's cute. But okay, cool. It's just it hadn't been very forward in my life. But when I thought about building Hey Black Seattle and starting to put it out there as a resource for the community and voluntarily stepping into a leadership space in community, I was like, this can't be very quiet.
Yeah.
It can't be a quiet part of my life because I do want to signal to the people in the community that the person who is running the thing is you have an opportunity that they're going to actually consider and care for the community.
Yeah.
Like it's there. I had family members who were like, why you got to say queer?
How did they take that?
I said what I said because it matters to someone who needs to know that. Oh, when I go to heyblackseattle.com and it's like, it's a Kiki Ballroom category on here. It's like, because the person who's behind it is like taking the time to care about a community that's typically sidelined when somebody's making something for us. I'm like, we making something for us, it's got to include that community too.
Right, absolutely. And also, I appreciate you too for just owning that. I think that's probably a lot of part of like Kiesha Free, right?
Yes.
Of like, I am liberating myself and I am finding a beautiful awakening.
Yes, come on.
Speaking of beautiful awakening, a couple of months ago, you actually took a tour up there, right?
Yes.
How was that?
Beautiful spa in Renton. If you haven't been, Beautiful
Spa.
Awakenings.
Yes.
It's very much one of those things where I'm like, this is a hidden gem. These are the types of places that I want people to know are in our community. So when I got ready to make what I was called the little mini series about why I made Hey Black Seattle, I wanted to find a whole bunch of spaces across the different counties in the region to highlight. And Beautiful Awakening Spa was someone that, with Jamila down there, I was like, I want people to know this is here.
Okay.
I want a beautiful space.
Okay, and speaking of beautiful spaces, I got a surprise for community because we're going to look at it right now. We're going to take a clip out and watch Beautiful Awakening and we'll be right back.
I'm here at Beautiful Awakenings for my spa day. Let's do it. Jamila!
Hey, Kiesha! How are you?
Good, it's so good to see you.
So good to see you. Welcome to Beautiful Awakenings.
Thank you.
Yes, come on in. Right this way. Yeah, what do you think?
It is fabulous in here. It is absolutely beautiful.
Thank you so much.
I can tell you're an interior designer, honey. This is fabulous.
Yeah, so we have 2 saunas. We have our treatment rooms. We have space for events, so it's great. And I'm so glad that you're here. Of course, we have our massage and facial room.
I'm ready. I'm so ready.
I've got your robe, so we'll get you changed into that so you're nice and comfortable, and we'll get you started on your pampering journey.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Soon.
I'll see you soon. Kiesha, how are you feeling?
Oh, girl. Jamila, I feel great, and this is just so beautiful.
Thank you.
You have put so much loving care and attention to detail into everything. What was your vibe that you were going for in this space?
Yeah, I really wanted to be intentional about creating a space that's designed for us to be pampered and really just feel welcome.
Well, you nailed it.
Thank you.
You nailed it. You've been in this space for about 3 years.
Yes, that is correct.
What has the reception been like to you having this spa? It's Black-owned business in Renton.
Yeah, I will tell you, it's like I'm a hidden gem, is what people tell me. Just people come to the space and they're welcome to all this natural light and lush greenery. It's really beautiful. In addition to massage and facial services, I also offer small events. So obviously, charcuterie, you can get your charcuterie on here.
Yes, you are the charcuterie queen, because that is fantastic. And I see that you highlight that you have your own beautiful candle collection here, but there seems to be like other Black-owned brands are here. Why is it so important to you to have other businesses highlighted here with you?
Absolutely. So I'm all about collaboration, and I feel like we're stronger together. So for example, this is a dear friend, her wine company, Black-owned wine company, OBK Wine. And I just love to feature her products and also other Black-owned businesses that I come into contact with, that I meet, partner with. It's just really a beautiful opportunity to bring us all together. Yeah.
Thank you so much for doing the work to take care of our well-being, but also that work to help highlight others in the community. So it's so important. Well, I need to go pick up my child and just let this relaxation settle in for the rest of the day. So thank you so much.
You are welcome, sis. My pleasure.
Oh, so good to see you.
Yes.
Thanks for coming along to meet some of the people in this small but mighty community that inspired the creation of Hey Black Seattle. To support the work, visit heyblackseattle.com and register as a member. Allies can support the work by donating. And if you're doing work the community should hear about, create a profile. Hey, Black Seattle, I see you. Let's connect.
Hey! Kiesha, girl, you did the thing.
Hey, thank you.
You did the thing. And if you are interested in going to get some good spa treatment, like on business,
there it is.
Okay, you need to go to beautifulawakenings.com.
She'll get you right.
We're going to take a quick break and we'll be back with a We Live in Color tribute. You're watching We Live in Color.
Working with Dentalman has been totally different than working with a traditional bank.
They're real, and they meet you right where you stand.
I was recently funded, and that money has just changed the trajectory of what we're able to do and our output. This has been just more than just funding or a one-on-one connect. It's been an opportunity for us to really grow and connect and build roots within the community.
As a small business owner, you need to put your faith into the right people, and they seem like good people to put their faith into.
Here on Back to Vesa, it's always been important to me that we uplift stories from across the region, and that no matter where you live in the nation, you never have to miss a moment of the show as we continue to highlight the beauty, excellence, and resilience of our communities across the Pacific Northwest. Why? Because representation matters. So no matter where you live, be it the Central District or Centralia, Portland or Pullman, or anywhere across the country, I encourage you to join me on this Back to Vesa journey by downloading the free Fox Local app on your phone or smart TV as we continue to elevate the very best in our communities.
And welcome back to We Live in Color. I'm here with Kiesha Free. Hey. Honey, I feel so liberated just sitting here talking to you. The conversations during the break really be the real thing. But here we are. Mm-hmm. You are living freely and liberated and in color. This is the part where we do the We Live in Color tribute. Who's the person that you're tributing today that has helped you live in color?
Can I do two?
Yes, you can.
Okay. One, I want to talk about my grandmother, Verna Bell Moore. I actually, when I renamed myself, I took her middle name, Bell, so the name Kiesha Bell Free. But we called her Dear. So Dear is just, she was a dynamic woman. She used to tell me that I could be anything I wanted to be. A lot of people say that, but my grandma wrote me letters in college. Like, she followed up. She made sure I was hearing it. And I think that there was a part of her that knew that a little dark-skinned girl in Louisiana needed somebody to be like a little extra, like, let me come double tap to make sure you're hearing.
Yeah.
You good. And so my grandmother was one of those people for me. And now I try to think about her and return that energy to my mom, because I know that we all are a line of little dark-skinned girls that grew up in a place that wasn't really pouring into us like that. So I love thinking about my grandma.
Yeah.
So that's my grandma dear. And then the other person is my daughter, Lauren. I bring her into the room with me in spirit as often as I can, because my daughter changed my life in many ways, not just her birth, but when she was 7, we were sitting around the dinner table, me, her, my younger sister who was living with us at the time, my ex-husband, talking about our dreams. Just the things on the bucket list that, get a little dusty sometimes because they just on the list. Now the list is part of your identity. But my ex is very like, well, what about this? And the downside, and this part, and that, in the name of practicality, but it can be a little bit of a drag sometimes. And so my daughter was like, Mommy, let your dreams be free. Okay? And I said, oh, thank you, baby. I touched her little hand at the dinner table, and then dinner continued. When we finished, that child grabbed me by the hand and walked me to her room. She said, I want to talk to you alone. And then she closed the door to her room and pulled me down to her height, her little 7-year-old height, and she put both her hands on my face and said, I just wanted to make sure you heard me at dinner. I said, let your dreams be free. And I felt like I was being spoken to from the beyond. And that next day, I signed up for stand-up comedy classes, and my whole life has been different ever since then. And so I wrote, let your dreams be free on a little chalkboard, and it's hanging up in our living room. And I never want to forget that she told me that, because I've been stepping differently ever since. So my kid delivered a word, and I ran with it.
Okay. You need to have her come visit Uncle Deaunte, because I need that too.
She'll tell you about yourself. She will. She'll be like, Deaunte, talk to me.
Yeah, I love that. And we lift her up, your grandma. It seems like reincarnated, honey, just like right there in the spaces of care, or you're continuing that legacy. So I appreciate you coming in today. But before we get out of here, we got to do the call to action.
All
so
right.
whatever you want that to be, I need you to look in that camera and tell community.
Whew. My first call to action is going to be to pass on what my daughter said to me. I hope you let your dreams be free and not bound by whatever the machine you're walking inside of told you to do. So let your dreams be free. And once you do that, also tap into heyblackseattle.com. Find the things that you need for your Black life in the Puget Sound and sign up for a membership. Join my mission to make sure that our people are connected and feeling good about their lives out here.
And I love you.
I love you
and
too.
I thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Episode Lucky 7 for me. And Kiesha, we'll have some things going on in the comings of months. So I just appreciate you coming here in this community and really planting good seeds. We in community, sometimes when people come in, it's like, oh, what's going on? But no, you're a safe place to land. And we at Converge, and me as an individual, I appreciate you. Thank you for being a part of the family.
That means so much. Thank you, Deaunte.
I appreciate you. And I thank you, community, for coming in today. Kiesha's story is so inspiring because sometimes we forget that we have to walk in our faith. We have to trust the process. Whether win, lose, or draw, we are doing the things that our ancestors dreamt that we can do. Kiesha is free, and we are also free to be whoever we want to be. I need y'all to walk with love this week, and I'll see you next week on a wonderful episode of We Live in Color. Walk with love. Have a great night.